Hi students, welcome to EPG Pathshala, an immature initiative of Gateway of PG courses. I am Dr. Shivaram Rao, Assistant Librarian and Officer on Special Duty Research and Projects at Central University of Kerala, Kasaragod. We will be discussing a module of paper Special and Research Libraries that is called Cost Effectiveness and Cost Benefit Analysis. In this lecture, we will be discussing the definition and concepts of cost benefit analysis and cost effective analysis, cost allocation methods, cost analysis, and summary of the lecture. Let us start with the introduction. Cost benefit and cost effectiveness analysis are management tools which are used to determine the cost and benefit of a particular project. When we say a project, it can be an activity within the library, such as automation of housekeeping operations or networking of various computers and other information communication technologies within the library premises, so on and so forth. After cost and benefits are determined, these methodologies are used to choose between alternative projects. Why we are doing this cost benefit and cost effective analysis? Because we have to find out the best alternative methods. We will compare the analyzed alternatives, which one to choose. Through these processes, decisions can be made about funding among different types of library functions. In today's context, libraries are like cost conscious units and sometimes perceived as liabilities by the parent institutions. Van Hoos in 1983 in his research article feels that the field of library and information services is appropriate for cost benefit and cost effectiveness analysis. So library and information services can be properly analyzed through these two methods. Libraries have begun to redefine their services through cost analysis. Careful planning and evaluation are required to provide the most cost-effective programs. Cost benefit and cost effectiveness analysis can lead to a more efficient use of library and information science resources. It can reduce the costs of selected programs and a budget resources. Cost analysis is also called as economic evaluation or cost allocation, or sometimes it is also referred as efficiency assessment, cost benefit analysis, cost effectiveness analysis by different authors. So it is a basic method of program evaluation. It is a measurement of monetary or time sacrifice made to achieve certain ends. Cost analysis involves measurement of the resource input to the system, understanding the nature of the work carried out, and the labor time needed to carry out the work. Cost analysis involves identification and quantification of the processes, division of the processes into smaller component steps, determination of resources requirement for each step, identification of time and volume for a process and related to cost, cost analysis and alternatives. So these are some of the cost analysis sub-steps. There are three major types of cost analysis in evaluation. That is, first one is cost allocation, second is cost effectiveness, third is cost benefit analysis. Cost benefit analysis is a systematic approach to estimating the strength and weakness of alternatives that satisfy transactions, activities, or functional requirements for a business. A cost benefit analysis is done to determine how well or how poorly a planned action will turn out. On the other hand, the cost effective analysis, we also call it as a CEA, cost benefit analysis is called CBA. So cost effective analysis is a form of economic analysis that compares the relative costs and outcomes. The outcomes are nothing but the effects of a two or more course of actions. Cost effectiveness analysis is distinct from cost benefit analysis, which assigns a monetary value to the measure of effect. What are the objectives of cost benefit analysis? Determine the actual benefit of a whole organization, determination of benefit through a particular job, identification of the cost for each operations, clarify the forms of cost particular activities, evaluation of the cost effectiveness. So these are some of the basic objectives of cost benefit analysis. In a typical situation, analysts subtracts costs from benefits to obtain the net benefits of the policy. If the net benefits are negative, they are referred to as a net costs. The formula for this counting net benefits is net benefits is equal to total benefits minus total cost. So the basic question to be answered in a cost benefit analysis are, do the economic benefits of providing a particular service outweigh the economic costs, and is it worth doing at all? So if the cost is higher than the benefit, then there is no question of continuing that service or continuing the development of such products as part of library is concerned. One important tool of cost benefit analysis is the benefit to cost ratio. What is this benefit to cost ratio? Which is the total monetary cost of the benefits or outcome divided by the total monetary costs of obtaining them. That is called benefits to cost ratio. There is another tool for comparison in cost benefit analysis, that is called net rate of return, which is total cost minus the total value of benefits. Cost benefit analysis or CBA is the most appropriate tools for decision making regarding the resource allocation in public services like library and information centers. These are the public service departments, where the output delivered may not be direct and tangible. The measurement is little difficult. That's why it is a tangible. CBA involves the following steps to determine whether project is worthwhile. How? First one, identify the cost and the benefits that will result from a project or a program. Second, measure in dollars the costs and benefits. Third, incorporate the time dimensions in the evaluation, because costs and benefits must be examined for the entire life of the project, not just for the current fiscal year. That is like investment projects. So the time factor is very important. And the fourth one is decide whether the result of the first steps yield enough social profit, that is net social benefit, to justify the expenditure of limited funds. This is a sample table of cost benefit analysis, where you can see we have measured these benefits in thousands. We have total 5 programs listed in first column, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the second column we have benefits. What are the benefits which we have out of those programs? And the third column you can see cost, the cost involved in running those programs, and the net benefit is also given in the column 4th, and the benefit cost, the ratio, the rank, and the rank net has been given in the last 3 columns. Cost benefit is a very important tool to assist decision makers. It allows an analysis to make comparisons among competing programs on the way service is delivered. Care should be taken in interpreting the results. Cost benefit is an easy process to conceptualize and appreciate. If the benefits outweigh the costs, the good or service should be continued. That is the basic funda of cost benefit analysis. If the cost exceeds the benefits, the service should be terminated. That is the indicator to discontinue the service. Next we will see cost effectiveness analysis, that is called CEA. The concept of cost effectiveness is applied to the planning and management of different types of organized activity. It is widely used in many aspects of life, such as acquisition of military arms, human activity like study of automobile usage, etc., etc. Cost effectiveness analysis seeks to identify and place dollars on the costs of a program. It then relates these costs to a specific measure of program effectiveness. The cost effective solution is the one which provides maximum output with the minimum cost possible. Analysts can obtain a program's cost effectiveness ratio by dividing costs by what we term units of effectiveness. The formula is cost effectiveness ratio is equal to total cost divided by units of effectiveness. Now what are these units of effectiveness? These are simply a measure of any quantifiable outcome central to the program objectives. So that is what total cost divided by units of effectiveness, and that gives you the cost of effectiveness ratio. For example, a dropout prevention program in a high school would likely to consider the number of dropouts prevented to be the most important outcome. Dropout of children or students from a high school. One more example I can give you. For a policy mandating airbags in cars, the number of lives saved would be an obvious unit of effectiveness. Using the previous formula, that is the dividing cost by the number of lives saved, you could calculate the cost effectiveness ratio, then further interpreted as a dollars per life saved. You could then compare this cost effectiveness ratio to the cost effectiveness ratio of other transportation safety policies to determine which policy costs less per unit of outcome. In this case, we are talking about the lives saved by these airbags. Cost effectiveness analysis is a comparative, while cost benefit analysis usually considers only one program at a time. Cost effective analysis, like cost benefit analysis, assumes that all costs of a project can be calculated. Rather than using only a dollar amount, a meaningful unit of effectiveness measure, or what we call unit of service, is attached to the formula for cost effectiveness. In the previous example, we have seen that the value of lives saved. The utility of this kind of design is traditionally associated with the exploration of a number of different alternatives to a desired outcome. Cost effective analysis emphasizes that both the costs and the effectiveness aspects are important and must be measured. Cost effectiveness analysis is the preferred method when it is impossible to measure benefits. It is used to evaluate two or more alternatives that will achieve the same objective without measuring the benefits. It may also be used in a situation where an objective is mandated and program termination is not an option. The cost effectiveness approach has a number of strengths. Most important is that it merely requires combining cost data with the effectiveness data that should be readily available. Major disadvantage of CEA or cost effective analysis that you can compare the cost effectiveness ratios among alternatives only if they all have the same goal and objectives. This is another disadvantage of cost effective analysis. How we can evaluate cost effectiveness analysis in libraries? In libraries, we can do CEA according to objectives of the library, according to user satisfaction, according to purpose of each and every program of various sections, according to output of library and information services effectiveness, according to fulfillment of basic laws of library domain. That's nothing but your 5 fundamental laws. Let us discuss this table of comparison of cost benefit analysis and cost effective analysis. The different features and the definitions have been put in 2 columns here for us easy to understand what is CBA, what is CEA, what are the differences. Cost benefit analysis, which we have discussed earlier, is a technique for evaluating the social profitability of alternative uses of scarce resources. That is cost benefit analysis. The definition of CEA here is, this is used to evaluate 2 or most alternatives that will achieve the same objective without measuring the benefits. So we have the alternatives to choose. So best one we have to choose as per CEA or cost effective analysis. Now what are the steps involved in CBA and CEA? Let us compare here. Let us first take cost benefit analysis. The first step is identify the costs and benefits that will result from a program or project. Second step, measure in dollars those costs and benefits. And third, incorporate the time dimension in the evaluation. Because cost and benefit must be examined for the entire life of the project. That's why time factor is important. The fourth step is decide whether the result of the first 3 steps yields a large enough social profit to justifying the expenditure of the limited funds. So these are the steps involved under CBA. Now what are the CEA steps or cost effective analysis? Number 1, identify the costs of each alternative, measure the costs of each alternative, incorporate in the evaluation, because costs and benefits must be examined for the entire life of the project. That is also a step which we can see under CBA. Decide which alternative has the lowest cost and go for that. Now what are the advantages? CBA and CA. CBA we'll see first. First one, it assists decision makers in making decisions by providing better information, and it is helpful in deciding which major projects to undertake, and it helps in analyzing recurring similar projects. It can determine whether or not alternative projects are socially profitable. So these are the 4 benefits of cost benefit analysis, and we will see the advantages of CEA. It assists decision makers in making decisions by providing better information, same as CBA. Second, it is much easier than a cost benefit analysis because it does not require the measurement of benefits. Third one, it requires less time and effort, and expertise is also not a question here. What are the disadvantages? CBA, hard to identify all relevant costs and benefits under cost benefit analysis. Erroneously including transfers that are not real costs or benefits. Hard to place dollar values on certain benefits and costs. Impossible to convert some costs and benefits into dollar values, that is called intangibles, which we cannot measure. Then fifth one, hard to identify the proper discount rate. And last one, considerable time, cost and expertise are usually required to do a cost benefit analysis. Some decisions have to be subjective. And under CEA, disadvantages include it cannot tell whether or not alternatives socially profitable. Assessment of additional alternatives requires analysis of additional functions and costs. Cost effectiveness analysis is valid only if alternatives under consideration have the same objective and identical outputs. Frequently hard to define output. If it is not possible to identify all costs in dollars, subjective decisions may still have to be made in cost effective analysis. If alternatives are compared whose time streams are not all the same, determining the lowest cost alternative will involve choosing a discount rate and computing the present value of alternatives. So we have seen the comparison of cost benefit analysis and cost effective analysis. And this is the summary of what we have discussed earlier in the previous slides. So with this, I would like to conclude by saying costing of library service or its activities is one of the essential elements for determination of the prices for library and information services and information products. Cost analysis helps in the estimation of expenditure for each service or operation of libraries. And it also promotes physical accountability in different programs and projects of each library. Cost data can be utilized for the measurement of efficiency of an operation and the benefits derived from it. It will also help set priorities when resources are very limited. It ensures optimal utilization of the resources of the library. Also, it helps in re-evaluating the efficiency of the human resources, so-called staff. Library managers can utilize them for decision making and to determine the future course of actions. It can be very powerful and persuasive to legislators, policymakers and other funding agencies. This will also help in controlling the library operations by keeping track of the inputs required and the output delivered thereof. With this, I'll wind up this topic. Thank you, students.